guys, it's 21 Maxwell here and welcome to the latest edition of TNA Making an Impact. Join us for our second pay-per-view of the series so far, which is TNA Sacrafice, which, although is happening on the second week of May, does come a little bit early, but with our deal with DirecTV for pay-per-views about to expire, I felt like it was best to get this pay-per-view early. Slammiversary will be very early in June, but it still gives it a good 4 weeks build for something which is a big deal in TNA terms. And then we can finish off our deal with DirecTV with them before we have to go to a lesser network, which I think is Dish Network. I'm not sure off the top of my head. So again, not the storylines haven't progressed as quickly as we want. As I say, it was all about getting through that first month, seeing our financial situation. Some have built up slowly, some will get to the next level coming out of this. Financially, the first month, as I said, was good, so a lot of guys are coming in. A lot of guys will probably make their debuts this coming Impact. I want to try and get as many in as possible, just purely because we're paying them a good bit of money. May as well use them because they're on written deals, so they couldn't be stolen. But I say we've got one debut in today. Obviously, we've got the Impact debut of Mike Bennett coming up. The Miracle will be coming up on the next episode as well, so a lot to look forward to. But we still need to promote storylines and stuff and get some things along on this episode. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. TNA Sacrafice, 16 segment show. Let's jump straight into it. So 6,086 in attendance at the Wikis Stadium. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Probably isn't. No real hype to the show to like pyro or that. We just decided to drop in straight with a match, which is for the X Division Championship. And then about they had some subpar wrestling in Little Heat. Ricochet defeats Trevor Lee in 12-18 by pinfall with a diving double knee drop. Ricochet makes defense number 1 of the X Division Championship. A D44 here, obviously Trevor Lee gets a mandatory rematch clause. Not an amazing matchup that we would kind of hope for. Maybe wanted it to be hopefully reaching the 50s there. But still can't complain. Trevor Lee's a massive work in progress, but it's one of those ones where you hope long term he can be a massive player for TNA in this. So 48 for Ricochet, 35 for Trevor Lee. Storyline will probably continue, but there may be more wrestlers added to it by the time we get to Impact. Ricochet improving technical skills, Trevor Lee performing better, so that's good to see. The negatives there, both gentlemen holding back, inconsistency of both gentlemen, the poor psychology of Trevor Lee. But I think we get him working with some veterans. He'll be a very good wrestler for us going forward. Next up, we are showing backstage to the 50% owner of TNA, Karlee, and it's basically her office, where we see her on the phone. We don't hear anything, we can't nose her in a conversation, but we're really curious to know who she's talking to. Could this be a new signing? Remains to be seen, but an E plus 35. She's got okay entertainment skills, but she's going to take a lot of time to build up. But I'm assuming her skills will go a lot better than, of course, Dixie Carter. Next up, we have a promo from the Decay. It's Rosemary who starts it by saying, "Decay, decay, decay. What you see before you is a true family. The three of us are bonded together by our pain and our suffering." Abyss says, "And Wolves, the suffering that we feel will be nothing like the suffering that you are going to feel when we inflict this pain on you to ensure that this precious gold," as he holds on to his World Tag Team Championships, "remains ours." After this, Crazy Steve just does an evil laugh, because I just have made the Crazy Steve character just a guy that laughs evil. And Rosemary says it's time to get to business. Decay, decay, decay. Probably not watching a lot of TNA. I'm still trying to get my head around the gimmick, but I feel like it's something we can get there with. I just really have to look at some really crazy looking promos, and then hopefully we'll get in our stride with the Decay. But it's one of those ones where the difference in overness between Abyss and Crazy Steve will have to work at that. But D44, I don't think there's anything else to that promo. Nope, so trying to get the crowd hotter. No skill improvements, but overall, it'll do. It's not great, but that's where they are in the card, so it's a respectable rating for this level of overness. The match itself impressed very highly, and in about they had some decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. The American Wolves, Davey Richards and Ed Edwards, win the Tag Team Championships, defeating the Decay in 11:29, when Davey Richards defeated Crazy Steve by pinfall with a shooting star press. So they're champions. Crazy Steve is a weak link here. A C64 is really good, so a lot of faith is going to get put forward in the Wolves going forward. Abyss is always going to be a steady hand. Crazy Steve, similar to Trevor Lee, it's one of those ones you really just have to work on. But it says a lot when you've got Eddie Edwards in a 67, David Richards in a 60. Sorry, David Richards in a 67, Eddie Edwards in a 63, Abyss in a 61, Crazy Steve languishing with a 36 in-ring performance, so you can see who's going to carry the match here, and who's got the experience. You know, that's the fun of TW, you get to work with lesser talents, and you get to build them up, so a good victory here, it'll help our tag division. Let's build the tag division storylines advanced. Of course, there'll be more tag teams coming. Very few negatives there, mostly actually for Abyss and Steve. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, we've got new tag team champions, the American Wolves. Next up, the Miracle debuts this week on Impact. Stay tuned for Wednesday. Of course, Wednesday for some reason is why Impact is on it in this save. We still have Explosion on Tuesdays, and I still need to wait in the deal finishing because I can't cancel it with Challenge TV. But once we get Explosion out of the way, it'll be probably trying to move Impact to Tuesdays. If not, we'll keep on Wednesdays because that's how it's been in this save. But an E25 and Mike Bennett debuts this coming week. We then have a bout that has some subpar wrestling but little heat, and it was our weekly Shibata squash match. He defeats Robbie this time in 7:42 by pinfall. This gets a D50. Shibata a 52, Robbie E had an in-ring performance of 37. I believe the gimmick changes for Robbie E. He's going to go from cocky to being a cartoon joker, and the gimmick turn was below average, so another shit gimmick for Robbie E, but oh well, we tried. No skill improvements to speak of in this instance. Negatives here, poor gimmick of Robbie E, so that's worrying going forward. The new gimmick doesn't seem like it's going to help him either. Shibata will get there, but the fact that he's pulling D50s and he's not really over is promising. And once we get him higher up the card, after demolishing people, I'll be happy. But a good unbeaten run at the moment, and that'll continue. Shibata is obviously torn through Robbie E, destroying him, and then we see him backstage in the trainer's room, being looked at by officials. The trainer has an ice pack at Robbie's neck, and basically Robbie E just makes a noise in frustration when the ice pack is put on him. And Jesse walks in and says, Robbie, after all those times that you were laughing at me, this had to happen. I mean, what's happened? What's wrong, bro? I thought I was the one who was struggling without you. Maybe it's you who's struggling without me. So, Jesse, hinting like, are the bro men, struggling without each other? Who's truly the one that is letting the other one down by not being there? So a D47. I think you can see where this is going, but Jesse's hitting that face turn, a little discussion between the bro men, and Jesse's improving at acting. He's another one where he gets a lot of negatives in matches, but if we can work with him, I think he could be a great talent, especially I think he's still young, I think he's still 26, 27, 28 maybe. A lot of time to definitely develop him. Next up was our bout for the Knockouts Championship, and a bout that had some subpar wrestling and little heat. Gail Kim defeated Jade, Madison Rain and Sienna in 12:35 when Gail Kim defeated Madison Rain by pinfall with a Hurricane Rana. Gail Kim makes defence number 1 of the Knockouts Championship. There's a decent build to this, it's really just trying to get more baby faces over. We really just have Gail Kim. I really want to keep the pairing of Sienna and Jade at the moment. Madison Rain's kind of in limbo at the moment. I don't really know what to do with her. Could have turned her face, I don't know, but she was really just in there because I know when you put her and Gail Kim together, you're going to get good female matches which can help elevate the likes of Jade and Sienna when they're involved. In terms of performance, Gail Kim 55, Jade with a 43, 46 for Madison Rain and Sienna with 38. So a lot of progress to be worked on here, but you can definitely see the fact with Jade, there's definitely prospects she can get to Gail Kim's level. Continues the storyline, which will be advanced in some sort of way, and Madison Rain improving performance, as does Jade. Negatives, Madison Rain for inconsistency, and the announce team. That's not too bad, I can take that. We then head backstage to the office again of the 50% owner of TNA, Karlee, who has an important announcement to make. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying the first TNA pay-per-view of many, with me in charge. Now remember, we have a former TNA Superstar, so I've changed it from someone to face Drew Galloway to now a former TNA Superstar. Can you guess who? Returning to make the challenge to Drew Galloway for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship tonight. Also, as you know, we've had an influx of new talent, and with this I can confirm that this Wednesday night on Impact we will see a few more. You don't want to miss this. And it's going to be big. Like, if I can get the angle sorted correctly, I think it's going to be massive. It certainly changes the landscape to TNA, and certainly is way different from the roster they've got in the moment. So I'm hoping it goes well. E28 there, not a great segment, but again, tells a story. You have to give her these segments to get some awareness. Next up, we have the decent match between EC3 and Tyrus. EC3 defeats Tyrus by submission. Just decided to do a submission victory for once. Didn't expect him to get as high as a C plus 68, so fair play to the guys. If I'd known that, I'd put them higher in the card. Great chemistry between EC3 and Tyrus. The crowd got hotter from the match. EC3 with an in-ring performance of 75, so he's delivering already. Tyrus with 51, still fairly respectable. And it continues the control of the company storyline for now, which will probably continue because of the tension between between EC3 and Karlee. So basically now we've got Drew Galloway in the ring waiting for his mystery opponent to make his title defence against. He's storming up and down the ring before the lights go out. Some music plays and the lyrics go, "God save our queen," and then it goes into a rock ballad before out from the back comes the returning Magnus. I wonder what people think of that one. He's still young, a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, someone I felt like could have been so much bigger in TNA. Like, I just felt like he just left pretty abruptly, but whether it was just to go independent or go to Global Force Wrestling, but I saw his rise in TNA, him being available, I thought it was a no-brainer, especially my intentions to make this save a long-term save. So C 55 there, gentleman gimmick, below average rating for the gimmick is poor, but yep, your match is going to be a Battle of Britain. And then a decent match, Drew Galloway defeats Magnus in 1949 with a Future Shock DDT. Galloway makes defence number 2 of his Impact World Heavyweight title. C65, I know you're thinking, why would you bring him back to lose to Drew? You can't take the title off Drew as soon as that, and you can always have a storyline coming out of it, saying frustrations, you got lucky, blah blah blah, but Magnus is getting better at his gimmick. Drew Galloway has an in-ring performance of 59, Magnus has a 61. Pretty happy with that. I felt Drew had a good match up there against Magnus. Then after an epic battle between the Scotsman and Englishman, Drew Galloway has prevailed and has retained his TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. Magnus is still out, whilst the referee hands Galloway, who is on his knees, the championship belt. He looks up at the sky and says thank you before he gets up and heads to the turnbuckle to celebrate with the fans. He gets back down and sees Magnus back up on his feet. He walks over with the title in one hand and offers the returning superstar a handshake. Magnus pauses before deciding no, he doesn't want anything to do with Galloway, and he walks off to booze. Galloway basically shrugs it off and celebrates with the fans, while Magnus heads to the back. So a C 56, just confirming that Magnus is heel. Another over angle, to get Drew, hopefully, a bit of overness from this segment. Then have a hype video, your promo vignette for documenting the feud so far between Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. These basically going to war, and the winner tonight is going to retrieve a number 1 contender's contract. It's a C 57. The storyline is still brother v champions, despite the fact that it is these two. Although the winner does get a number 1 contender's contract and will be thrust back into the title picture. What I will say is, I wanted to do this as a ladder match, obviously retrieving a contract, but because the event I had no coverage in the UK, and the only thing I could get it signed up to was to be covered on free TV or commercial television on Challenge. So great, we've got the pay-per-view obviously in America, that's going to do great wonders for us in America, but Challenge wouldn't let me do a ladder match, it was too risky. So it's a typical Vince Russo weapon on a pole match, despite the reality is the contract's above a ladder and the winner's going to be by pinfall. Very confusing, but it was the best I could work with, given how I wanted to work the match. The match itself was decent. Jeff Hardy defeated Matt Hardy in a weapon and a pole match in 1752 with a twist of hate. So C plus 66, Jeff Hardy with the 67 performance, Matt Hardy with the 50. Continues the storyline, Jeff Hardy's your number one contender. We'll get a chance at Drew Galloway. No skill improvements to comment upon. Most of the negatives there for Matt Hardy, which is a massive shame. And then we end the show, Jeff Hardy's done it. In this brutal match versus his brother, he's climbed the ladder, and obviously they have explained it should be a ladder match, but you know, Challenge TV. And he's retrieved the contract that entitles him to a title match at next month's pay-per-view, Slammiversary. Matt is helped to the back by officials after a brutal battle that has been endured, while Jeff hobbles around the ring, back to the top of the ladder where he poses with the contract and signals that that championship is his and he is coming for it. So a great promo there to end the show, great celebration from Jeff with a B-76. Which should give us a good rating there as we end the show. C plus 67, fantastic, and it increases our pop in 21 regions, which confirms again our storylines are over. So I've got absolutely no complaints about that show. Maybe could have used a little bit more angles, but I still feel like until we get the proper roster over and everybody in that we want in, then it's still going to be kind of a couple of shows where we're not quite there. But no, it's positive. Very happy with that. We'll make our speeches. Jeff was pleased, Matt was pleased, and EC3 was pleased. But it's one of those ones with TNA, it's like slowly but surely. Getting the money in the bank, making sure you're not falling lower than Cult, and then just continually getting bigger and better. Like, I honestly feel we can get this company in really good places with the roster and acquisitions are coming in. Let's see. Sacrafice has drawn a lot of praise, that's good to see. NXT is a feud between Samoa Joe and Austin Aries. ICW, Dave Mastiff. That's cool. I'm just hoping none of this spoils people that are coming in. On there. But the good thing is, look, we're up at 2.3 million, which considering we started at $1 million, I don't know if we're going to lose probably about 300, 400k. So probably our profits will be 2 million. Our profits will be $1 million, but we'll be at 2 million after 2 months. It's good. It's doubled our money. And it's allowing me to go and bring in these stars that are coming in next week, which hopefully take us to that next level. But we've moved from 4th to 3rd in the rankings, but as I say, we're up at 49s and 48s now. We're starting to get away from that just being on the brink of Cult, and I just want to make a massive assault into national. I think the way I'm going to work it as well is we'll keep like building up with the with TV shows and stuff like that. If we're really struggling in like certain areas, like if we can't get a deal in like Scotland or whatever, I'll try and find another mod and import like other TV companies that I'm really like small or medium in like Scotland or something. Small little markets where just the coverage I have at the moment is not going there because obviously the mod hasn't got them. But that's not a problem down the line. If there is plans to definitely do stuff like that, I'll let you know anyway. We can discuss if he's one way just like kind of accept that that's going to be a failure until I build my own network, which will be a long time away. But we'll see how people view it, and we'll go from there. So a quick look, the buy rate was a 1.11, and we get a 0.04 on challenge. But it was just to give people in the UK a chance to see it and gain a bit of pop there. In fact, if I just quickly go to the coverage, so that's our coverage anyway. I should say our broadcasting. So you see everything's on DirecTV. DirecTV expires in 42 days, so that gives us the opportunity to get the pay-per-view there. Challenge is great, it covers places but it's very small, so you're hoping, you know, there's not really much bigger apart from like Sky Sports. I'll have a quick look. It's more so in the UK and expanding out with places like that. It's like you've got, it's very big with ITV, but places like Sky Sports and stuff like that, it's like small, you get much bigger. Are they really going to look to take us when they've got Raw? Again, it's not interesting negotiations, but just try to get to the next level. And of course, a lot of these places, wrestling stances, obviously it's pro here, but there'll be a lot of places where it's negative or neutral, and don't have the patience that we need. But apart from that, I don't want to get into it too much because a lot of things are going to change in the next week. A lot of guys coming in, as I say, and a lot of storylines are going to change. So all I can say is I hope you enjoyed this episode. I just say there's a lot of things happening, and I hope you are going to join me in this journey where we really do take TNA to the next level. A level it should have reached it a long time ago. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't be afraid to drop a thumbs up. Any comments on the series so far, on any of the signings you've seen previously come in, What did you think of the pay-per-view, and any predictions for who's going to show up this week on Impact? Not just Mike Bennett, a miracle is happening, and there's a big miracle happening as well. So thank you for watching, guys. Stapler appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you next time for another TNA Making an Impact. Bye bye.